Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another meal prep Sunday. I had a hard time getting going today. I don't know what it is. I actually laid down and took a nap today. It is now 2:30 in the afternoon and I'm just getting started. You know, even though I do this all the time and it is my favorite day, I have days where I just don't feel like doing it. And today was one of those days, but I'm gonna do it. I'm kind of getting out of my little funk now and starting to wake up a little. I don't know if the last 2 days I've just wanted to take naps, so I might be coming down with a little something. Anyways, it's Sunday, it's prep day. Today's not gonna be too bad, I don't think, because I actually only am gonna be having 2 dinners to prep. If you guys remember in my menu plan, I mentioned how I did not have the queso to make Joan's Pointed Plates smothered queso chicken. So I was gonna make something else for Thursday night, but then my mother called me yesterday and she would like to go someplace for her birthday on Thursday. My mother and I have birthdays 2 days apart. Mine is Tuesday and hers is Thursday. So Tuesday night, my husband and I are gonna go out for dinner, and then Thursday night, we're gonna go out to my mother's favorite pizza place and celebrate both our birthdays with the family. So that leaves me just 2 dinners to prep because I don't usually prep Friday. So it should be fairly quick and easy. So for breakfast this week, I'm doing breakfast casserole, and it's just gonna be a basic breakfast casserole. Should be really good. I think it's gonna be, I figured 4 or 5 points, depending how big of a piece you have. And then for lunches, I'm just doing some big grilled chicken salads. And then one day we'll just do a sandwich or something. We'll have the salads for 3 days, and then one day we'll do sandwich. And actually my husband and I are off on Friday, so I won't have to prep any lunch for Friday because I'll be home anyway. So if you want to see how I prep breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack for my husband and I for the week, then stay with me. And if you're new to my channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and make sure to click the notification bell so that you're notified anytime I upload new content. And welcome, my name is Christy and I am Planning Us Healthy. So the first thing I'm going to start with today is the breakfast casserole. That way I can get that in the oven while I move on to putting our salads together. And then the last thing I will do is package the dinners. I'm doing the salmon one night, so I'll just portion that and package that. But for the unstuffed peppers, I'm kind of debating, rather than putting all the ingredients in the bag, I may go ahead and just throw that together, and then that way all I have to do the night that we have is bake it. So I'm kind of debating on whether to do that or not. I guess I'll see how long it takes me to get everything going. So what I've done is I have my oven preheating on 400 degrees, and I have sprayed a 13 by 9 inch pan with olive oil spray. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my bacon going, and I'm cooking the bacon in my air fryer. So I just sprayed the bottom a little. I don't know that you necessarily need to because it's bacon, so it's going to kind of create its own grease. But I'm going to cook this in the air fryer at 400, and I usually cook it for between 10 and 15 minutes. For this recipe, I want it really crispy, so I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on it. After about 5 minutes, I'll flip it over. So I'm going to get this started and then put the rest of it together. Okay, so the rest of the ingredients we're going to need are, I'm using the Great Value shredded hash browns. This is a 26-ounce bag, but I'm going to just use 24 ounces. That'll save a point. This is going to be 5-point pieces. I'm actually going to cut these into really big pieces. I'm going to cook them in I'm going to bake them in the 13 by 9 inch pan and then just cut it into 8. So they're going to be pretty good portions for the 5 points. So if I use the whole bag, it becomes 6. So I'm just going to I've already weighed out, I took 2 ounces out, and I actually have another bag of these. I'll just toss those in the bag with that. So I'm going to just go ahead and dump these in the bottom. And then I'm going to put some onion powder and garlic powder in it. Normally I would put onion, sometimes I'll chop onion in, these, but my husband doesn't really care for onions mixed in with his eggs, so I'm fine just using the onion powder. But you could put onions and peppers, anything like that. I'm actually going to be using mushrooms, putting mushrooms in it. And then I'm going to add just some salt and pepper. And then for the mushrooms, I'm just using a can of mushrooms, and I'm just going to chop them up. Alright, and then after those are cut up, we're just going to go ahead and just kind of layer them over the potatoes. And again, you can put whatever vegetables in this that you want. Alright, I'm going to set that aside, and now I'm going to go ahead and put my eggs in here. I am actually using 15 eggs. Alright, and then I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of fat-free half and half. And then we're just going to go ahead and mix that up real good. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is add about half of the bag of Velveeta shreds. And then I'm going to save the other half of the bag to put over the top of it towards the end when it has maybe like 10 minutes left. Okay, I'm just going to set that aside and wait for the bacon to get done. Okay, so I had our bacon in there for just about 15 minutes, maybe, I think it was about 13 actually. So I've had that on a towel, getting some of the grease out of it. In the meantime, I went ahead and dumped the bacon grease out of the air fryer and resprayed it with olive oil spray. And I have just seasoned my chicken. So this is going to be for the salad. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cooking, and I'm going to cook it in the air fryer. And I have here about a pound of chicken, and I'm going to split this pound up for the 6 lunches. And I just seasoned it with Montreal chicken seasoning. So I'm going to get that going in the air fryer. I'm going to do it at about 360 for, I'm going to try 15 minutes. So the next thing I'm going to do is just chop up my bacon. This had 12 slices of bacon in it, and I'm only using 8 for this. Alright, and then the other 4 pieces we'll just save. So now we're just going to sprinkle the bacon over top. And then we're going to add our eggs. And then we're going to bake that in the oven. You can also add a little bit of green onion if you want. Alright, then we're going to just cover it with aluminum foil, and this takes a while to bake, so we're going to bake it in a 400-degree oven for between 45 minutes and an hour the first time, and then we'll take the aluminum foil off and then bake it for about 30 more minutes. Just have to kind of keep an eye on the inside of it. Okay, so now I'm going to do the salads for lunch. I went ahead and saved you from having to watch me chop everything. So For our salads, I have some green leaf lettuce and some iceberg lettuce. I'm also going to throw in some tri-colored coleslaw. I have some mini cucumbers, some carrots, tomato, yellow squash, and red onion. And then I have my chicken, which ended up taking 20 minutes. So I flipped it after about 10 minutes and cooked it for a total of 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I decided that I am going to go ahead and put the unstuffed peppers together. So I'm going to go ahead and get my turkey put on the stove. So it's going to be 2 points. I believe it's 2 points if you use ground turkey breast. But this is actually going to be 3 points because I'm using the 93% turkey. I'm not positive. Whatever I put in the description box will be what the points are. So I will make sure to put the correct points down in the description box with the recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started on the stove, and then I will put the salads together. Okay, so I'm going to be making 6 salads. So I'm just going to split the lettuce up. So when we have salads for lunch, we have big salads. All right, then I'm going to just cut the chicken breast. And then that bacon that we had left, I'm going to go ahead and just cut that up and put that in it. Because as of right now, it is 0 points for the salad. So now we can just add some points. I use Olive Garden light Italian dressing, so that's only 1 point for the dressing. And so I'm going to put, now it's only 4 slices of bacon, which is only 2 points. So I'm going to split that over 6 of them. So this isn't even going to be a point's worth of bacon in each one. I am now going to put 1 point worth of Velveeta shreds. So I'm just going to put 1 point worth, which is 14 grams in each one. So that is it for the salads. So as you can see, those are pretty good salads. So then what I'm going to do is I have the Olive Garden light Italian dressing, and what I do is I just put enough for everything. So I use 2 tablespoons for each salad, which is 1 point. So I put enough for 3 salads in this container. So 2 tablespoons is 32 grams. So I'm going to put 96 grams in each container. Okay, and then we will have these with the salad to take with us. All right, so I'm going to get these put away. And then I'm going to get the breakfast casserole out. I actually already put the cheese on it and put it back in for the other half hour. My son and daughter-in-law came with my grandson, so I did a few things off camera. Got my snacks already cut up and things like that, so I will show you that. So basically what I did is the breakfast casserole, after it was about 50 minutes that I had it in there the first time. And then I took the aluminum foil off of it and put it back in there for about 20 minutes, and then I topped it with cheese for the last about 10 minutes. And I will show you that. Okay, so here is the breakfast casserole. So what I did is cut this into 8, so I'm going to let it cool. The time that you put the cheese on depends on how you like your cheese. We like our cheese kind of almost like you have it on pizza, where it's a little bit dark in some areas, but you definitely don't have to leave your cheese on that long. I would say if you don't like it dark in the areas, just put it on for the last 5 minutes. So I'm going to let this cool down before I put it into containers, and then I will show you that. So now I'm going to kind of clean up a little bit and show you what we do for the stuffed peppers, or unstuffed peppers. Okay, so for the unstuffed peppers, again, this is going to be a dinner, but I'm going to go ahead and get it ready, and then I'm just going to wait and bake it. Now normally this calls for baking it a lot longer because you're going to be baking the peppers, but because I'm going to be putting the peppers in with it, I'm not going to bake it that long. The night that we have it, I'm just going to bake it for probably 15 minutes. So I will put the original recipe down in the description box, and I'll also put the modifications that I did. So if you like it with the peppers, then you'll have both recipes. So because I'm using 3 peppers, I'm going to go ahead and use my chopper. Alright, and then I am going to just put those right in. I've already cooked my turkey. So I'm going to put these in with the turkey. And then I'm going to put my rest of my red onion in here. I had some that I still had cut up from the salad, so I just went ahead and threw that in there. Put the onion in there. And then when I cooked the turkey, I put in about a teaspoon of cumin. So now we're just going to mix that all up. I'm going to go ahead and put in a good heaping spoon of garlic. Now, you guys know normally when I cook garlic, I add it at the end, but because I'm just going to be simmering this, I can go ahead and add it now. I've already cooked the turkey, so it's just going to be cooking at a simmer. So that's okay, the garlic won't burn. So now I have, the original recipe calls for a tomato, but I just use a can of Preheat diced tomatoes. And then I have a can of black beans and a can of corn. So I went ahead and drained those real good, and I'm just going to add those to it. Alright, and then the last thing we're going to do is cut the jalapeno pepper. And I am actually not going to use all of it. Alright, and then we'll just put that in there. The only other thing that the recipe calls for is cilantro. Because my husband doesn't like cilantro, I'm not going to put that in. What I'll do is I'll just add some to my portion the night that we have this. So now what I'm going to do is just put this on the stove for a simmer for about 20 minutes. And then I will put it in a casserole dish. And then the night we have it, I will just bake the casserole. I'll put the casserole dish in a 350-degree oven and bake it for about 15 minutes. And then I will top it with some reduced fat cheese. And then you could use sour cream or anything like that. Alright, so we put that on the stove. Okay, so while the unstuffed peppers are simmering, I'm going to go ahead and just pre-package our only other dinner for this week. So normally I have 4 dinners, but this week it's going to be an easy one. So if you're new to my channel, when I prepare my dinners, I just put everything in a bag and I mark on the bag what's in it, how many points it is, and I just go ahead and portion everything and put it in the bag, so then that way I just pull the bag out the night we make it, and it's a lot easier. Everything's portioned out and ready to go. I do wash everything that night. So for this night, I am doing the same thing that I did last week, which is the air fryer basil parmesan salmon. That was so good, so good. So I am having it again this week, and I had planned on doing Brussels sprouts with it, which are the frozen Brussels sprouts from Aldi. But since I'm not going to be doing the chicken and broccoli Thursday night, I don't want this broccoli to go to waste, so I'm going to go ahead and do the broccoli with the salmon. So I'm just going to cut it off of the stalks and throw that in the bag. And for the salmon, it's actually only 2 points for the salmon. The recipe on Skinny Taste is 3 points, but I used light mayo. And with using light mayo, it brings it down to 2 points per serving. We usually have a double serving of the salmon, so it'll be 4 points for us. And then I'm just planning on doing some rice. So I'm just going to use white rice this time. So I have half a cup of white rice already measured out. So that will make 1 cup of cooked rice. So we'll each have a half a cup of cooked rice with it. So I'll throw that in the bag. And then I have already mixed my... When I make this last time, this topping that goes on the salmon, it actually calls for 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise, which I use light mayonnaise. I use Hellmann's Light. And then it calls for 3 tablespoons of Parmesan. And when I did it last week, I just mixed 3 and 3 together, and that was the topping. But after I got reading the recipe, you're actually supposed to just do 3 tablespoons of the mayonnaise and 2 tablespoons of the Parmesan. And then you put that over it, and then the other tablespoon of Parmesan you just sprinkle on at the end. So I'm going to try it. It was really good the way we did it last week, so I don't know that it's going to make much of a difference, but I'm going to try it the way that it calls for. So I have 3 tablespoons of the light mayonnaise combined with 2 tablespoons of Parmesan in this one, and then 1 tablespoon of Parmesan in this one. So I will go ahead and put those in the bag. And then go ahead and put my salmon, which I already have prepackaged. Alright, and so that's all I do for dinners. I just go ahead and prepackage it, make sure everything's weighed out, measured out, and it just makes it a lot quicker the night that I get home from work. It makes it a lot easier. And I almost forgot about the basil. I have about 6 basil leaves here. So actually the basil gets minced up, and then it gets mixed in with the topping, with the mayonnaise and the Parmesan. But I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want it to be overpowering with the basil flavor. So I'm going to wait and do that tomorrow night. So we'll just put those in there. Okay, so when my grandson was here, I went ahead and did some of my snacks. So I started doing my cereal for Friday. I used the Fiber One original cereal. I used 30 grams, that's 2 points. And I usually take half a cup of almond milk with me. But then I remembered that my husband and I are off Friday, so I'm not necessarily going to need that. So what I do for my snacks is I just portion out. These are Snack Factory pretzels. I just weigh them out, 28 grams in a bag. I know that's 3 points. I toss a Laughing Cow cheese wedge into the bag, and that is my 4-point snack. I usually pull these out of the fridge and have these at nighttime. And then the other thing I did already was I cut up, because you guys don't need to see me cutting up fruit, I cut up our cantaloupe, and I portioned out little portions of blueberries into these little containers that I got from the Dollar Tree. So those we can just take those with us to work each day. And then the other snacks I have are, for staples, are yogurt and pudding. So I'm going to go ahead and get these, and then I'm going to portion out the breakfast. Okay, so for the breakfast casserole, that is how big of a piece it's going to be. So that is a pretty good portion. So I will get those portioned out, and by then the unstuffed peppers should be ready to come off simmer, and I'll put those in a casserole dish and show you those. All right, so the casserole is done. I did end up putting a little bit of chicken broth in it while it was cooking, and I may add a little bit the night that I make it, depending on how much this dries up. But I just was afraid that it would dry up too much. And this is going to make more than just for, this is definitely more than just one dinner. We're going to have leftovers on this. We'll probably use this for leftovers Thursday for lunch, and possibly even Friday, depending how much. This is actually 6 portions. So that is what that looks like. We may cook some rice and just lay this over rice the night we have it. So let me go ahead and get everything spread out. All right, so this is it. So let me just show you the casserole unstuffed peppers. So I'm gonna probably go ahead and put some chicken broth. I use reduced fat chicken broth. I'm gonna probably go ahead and put that in, you know, just splash a little bit in there before I put it in the oven. And then I'm going to be topping it with some reduced fat cheese and some green onion. And I'm going to decide whether I'm going to use rice and whether I'm going to use sour cream. So we'll see how many, we'll see. It just depends on what I use for how many points. But I'll have the points for the regular version down in the description box. I'll have the link, and then I will have the modifications and the points for what I do. So then might as well continue on with the dinners. So then we have the air fryer basil parmesan salmon with rice and broccoli, and that is 5 smart points per serving, or 7 if we double the salmon, which normally we usually do. For lunches, we have our salads. These ended up coming out to, let me see, it was 1 point. I'm going to say 3 points. I don't even think the bacon is a point, because like I said, I used 4 pieces for 6, so I don't even think that's a point. But just to be on the safe side, I will count it as a point. I'll count a point for the cheese and a point for the dressing, so I'll say that's a 3-point lunch. Our breakfast casserole, those are huge portions. Huge. So those ended up being 5 points. So if we even wanted to cut it in half, it would probably be 3 points, because like I said, those are pretty good portions. And then let's see, for our snacks, my other breakfast was the cereal, but like I said, I'm not going to need that because we're off on Friday anyway. And then we have our bananas and cantaloupe. Those are 0. Our blueberries are 0. Our pudding, or our yogurt, we have yogurt here, strawberry, and I think there is, yeah, strawberry and strawberry cheesecake. That kind's really good. Those are 2 points. Our sugar-free pudding are 2 points, and then my pretzels and Laughing Cow cheese wedge is 4 points. Okay guys, so that is it for this week's prep. Again, just 2 dinners, so not too bad. And the good thing is this one's already, I have one already made, ready to go in the oven. Usually I have my meal prep videos out on Tuesday, so it's Sunday right now. Probably the day this comes out, the day you'll be watching it is going to be Tuesday. So if it is my birthday, but it is also Cheryl Sims' birthday. So Cheryl, I want to say happy birthday to you, and you have become a wonderful friend to me since I started this channel, and I greatly appreciate your support and your friendship. So have a happy birthday. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you like these videos, give them a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And again, if you are new to my channel and you like to see things like this, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you in my next video. I'm Christy, and I am planning us healthy.